I wanted to ask you, first I wanted to congratulate you on Roots, and how was the recording process for you?
Well, it was very cheap because the studio we recorded in was for free. It was on the local music school in our town. And Jacob, our guitarist, he mixed our the songs, so it got very cheap. And then we hired another cheap guy who mastered the album. So it turned out very cheap, and we were very efficient as well, because it's hard to make a schedule for 6 people. Yeah, we recorded almost everything live, so it got very efficient, and we like that.
And I wanted to know if you could speak on the song in Silva.
In Silva, yeah, it's actually a song with only Jacob and Josefina in it, and there is guy who were in the Swedish Idol who sings on it too. But me and Johan, we don't play on it. But what do you want to know about the song?
I wanted to know lyrically what was the inspiration for it.
I don't know. We didn't write the song, but I guess it's just woods and forest and yeah, the beauty in it.
And the song Gaslighting, it's basically about a toxic relationship. Was that song based upon a personal experience, or was just an idea that came across?
I guess that everyone has been gaslight once or twice in their lives. But sometimes it gets very dangerous if someone whose partner is gaslighting them a lot and making them go crazy. But of course, we have all been gaslighted. And Josefina wrote the lyrics, and I can't speak for her. But as females in this society, we get gaslights a lot. So it's very common. And very important to put the spotlight on as well, because it's very discreet, and if someone is gaslighted, it's not like they could report it to the police, like, because it's not very concrete. So it's important to always believe what your friends are saying if they say something, and to be have your eyes wide open for the warning signals in partners, or if your friend starts behaving different.
And Leaves is my favorite song on the album. I wanted to know if you could pick your favorite track, what would it be and why?
Oh, Reflection, I think. Yeah. That's a nice tune, I think. Ida?
My favorite song is Reaching for Sun, because I like how it is very mysterious and also cocky, and it just keeps on pushing. It's no break or climax. It just keeps push steady all the song through, and I like that.
And I wanted to ask you if you could speak of the album artwork and the artist that was involved.
We really decided the cover in last minute. We couldn't pick one, but then Johan is in another band along with Jacob, and their cover was really beautiful. So Jacob reached out to that artist, and we fell for that cover.
Yeah, it was a really late decision with the artwork. Yeah, we changed it very late.
And I wanted to ask you, are there any songs that didn't make the cut for the album?
I don't think so.
No, not in the that we did record, and and throw away later. No.
But we talked about if we were going to skip the soul. But I'm glad that we didn't, because a lot of people have it as their favorite song.
And what can fans look for next from you?
A lot of gigs, and we have some planned gigs in Denmark. Some not official yet, and some official, like the one in on the festival Thai Rock in June, I think.
Yeah.
So a lot of more activity than the past years due to the pandemic, and it's going to be great. And perhaps we will release another album.
Yeah, and a music video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is, can I say it?
I don't know.
Let's release it now. It's gaslighting, and it's portraying how it could feel like as victim in that relationship.
Yeah, it's an old feeling, like an 40s old movie style. Yeah,
Like the movie Gaslight. It's that kind of feeling.
Okay. And I wanted to know if you could give me a history lesson on how the band formed.
Well, it was when me and Josefina were like 15 years old, and we talked about forming a band, and we liked the hippie era, and Josefina was a great singer, and I played the bass, so we needed a couple more members. So we talked to Jacob, and we were really nervous because he was older, but Josefina's big sister were dating Jacob, so we talked about him. No, we talked to him, and he said yes. And my best friend Anna joined the band as a keyboardist, and Josefina's boyfriend Christopher went in as a drummer, but now Johan is the drummer. But it was like we were all connected somehow, and a family. And now we have changed a bit, but we are really close still, and we're like a family.
And I wanted to ask you, you touched on the fact that you liked hippie music and that. What are some bands that did inspire you?
Led Zeppelin, and Black Sabbath, but they aren't really. We have changed a lot, and we have like a lot of influences, but the early influences were Led Zeppelin and Jefferson Airplane.
Janis Joplin. Yeah.
And I wanted to also ask you, if you could each pick your proudest moment as an artist, what would that moment be?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. When I was like 13, I got the opportunity to play cymbals with a band at a pretty big festival in Sweden, and I think that was kind of cool to do as a kid in front of a big audience. Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard to pick one, but maybe I think about two times, and one of the times I bought a bass that John Paul Jones. It was the same brand and the same model, and it was my first real bass, and I got really happy about it. But the other time it was when we performed at a big festival in our city, Arvika, and yeah, it was on the big stage, and it was a couple of hours before some really famous Swedish musicians played. So that was cool.
And along your musical journey, what's the best advice that's been given to you along the way?
Johan or
I'm thinking. It's a tricky question. Maybe do your own thing, stay true, and don't copy too much. Like take a little bit of everything that you think is good with, let's say, a drummer, and do your own thing. Yeah.
And I think that it's important to keep saying yes and to be pushy and to show your fans everything, um, like even the small parts when we rehearsal or how we pick clothes before a show, or yeah, like the parts that are not perfect, um, like everyday life. I think that's important, so they like get to know us, and it also feels good to not only show the perfect parts because life isn't perfect.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you along that line, do you guys have any hobbies in your spare time beyond music?
I like to knit and listen to or watch documentaries. Meanwhile, it might not sound that fun, but I work a lot and I get really exhausted, so I don't have too much energy to do anything else.
Yeah, and I work as a lighting technician and designer. That takes up quite a lot of time. But maybe when I'm when I'm have a free time, I like to mountain bike and hang out with our dog Pelle. Yeah.
And what's the last album you listened to cover to cover?
Mm. Ooh. Ida, do you have one?
Like the last album I listened to, that I didn't get the question.
The last album you listened to all the way through?
Oh, I think it's Animals by Pink Floyd.
Oh. To be honest, I think it was our own album.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the last album I listened to cover to cover.
Yeah.
And also, if you could tell me, if you could pick, if I came over, what would be the favorite meal that you would introduce me to?
Hmm. Like a Swedish?
Yes.
Like we have so much boring food in Sweden. Like all of our food are like influences from other countries, and the ones that are originally from Sweden taste like only like boiled potato. But I like spicy pizza.
But our
Probably.
meatballs is pretty good.
But boring.
Yeah.
And what's the best way to get merchandise from the band?
We have a direct link from our Facebook page. So if you just enter our Facebook page, there is, I think it's called store, or
Is
yeah,
it the band camp?
yeah, yeah. So there's a link there that goes to Bandcamp, and yeah, that's the way, and we have a lot of exciting, beautiful stuff on the way.
Yeah.
And as far
Oj, droppa nu.
Ja, personen.
as touring, will you be posting to your site?
Of course.
So, yeah.
We love sharing our lives with our fans and followers.
And I wanted to ask you lastly, if you could give a message to your fans, what would that message be?
Basically, just thank you for your words and appreciation. And we love hearing your what you think about our album. And if you want to say something to us, just message us on Facebook, Instagram, or through mail, and we will answer. We read everything.
Yeah.
That is great. I want to thank you for taking time to speak with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Please feel free to update me at any time.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
You too. Take care.